Alrighty. Let's just come into a moment of silence to connect to our breath before we begin this movement today. So you can find a nice dignified seat. If you have a meditation cushion or a couch pillow, you can absolutely sit up on something just to get your hips higher than your knees. I'm personally sitting in Seiza right now. Seiza is just fancy way for saying kneeling. And I'm just going to take a moment to come into my breath, to connect that mind-body connection, that yoke of breath and movement that we're about to get into, and to honor that very, very, very magical bond that we have within our bodies, to be able to calm the nervous system and to be able to have a little bit of control in a world where it seems like we really don't have a lot of control and choice and freedom sometimes. But you can control this. So let's come into that. So you're going to place one hand on your stomach, one hand on your heart, and begin to breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. I left the door open this morning to let the cat out, and the birds are very, very chatty. It's a lovely anchor to bring my mind back to just allow their beautiful singing to kind of fill my head. One more deep breath in together, and a long exhale out. If you're sitting on a pillow or a bolster at this time, you can remove it. I'd like to invite everyone to go ahead and stand right up. We're going to just come into a couple of twists just to get into the spine. So your feet are wider than hip distance apart, and you can go ahead and just start to turn from side to side and let the hands come around. Slap your hips, slap your low back. And as you turn from side to side, so when you're turning to the left, your right toes come up. When you turn to the left, or your right, your left toes come up, sorry. So as you go from one side to the other, the opposite toes peel up to allow for a little bit more of a spinal twist. You can look and follow the direction that your spine is going in. Your arms are kind of limp, which I usually don't advise in yoga. Usually you want nice activation, but this is just a nice way to kind of get the cerebral spinal fluid moving, getting everything going. I don't know about you, but I've been up since 6 because the cat woke me up. Start to make those motions a little bit smaller and smaller and smaller until you come back to a nice neutral position. Heel toe your feet back in underneath your hip points. And we're going to inhale, lift those arms all the way up. Exhale, lower them down to a capital T. Inhale, back up, look up. Exhale, lowering down to that capital T. From the capital T, inhale, bring the arms forward. Exhale, bring the shoulder blades back into the back as if there were an orange in between your shoulder blades that you're kind of trying to juice and squish. Inhale, bring the arms forward, let the fingertips touch. Exhale, broaden across the chest, open up. Morning, Mom. Inhale, bring the arms forward. Exhale, open up. Really, you can look up, make a little bit of back bend. Inhale, bring them forward. Pause. Really send energy through those fingers as if there were a ball of energy right in between your hands. We're going Dragon Ball on it for a minute here. So go ahead and breathe into that. The fingertips can touch, or you can just hover them apart from each other. And one more deep inhale. As you exhale, bring them back and just kind of let them fall down to your sides. Let's get into a couple of shoulder rolls here. So you're still standing, but I'd like you to just go ahead and start rolling the right shoulder back. Hi, Sam. And Christina's here too. Yay. Hi, guys. All right, let's keep on rolling those shoulders back. It could totally be a lemon, Holly. It doesn't have to be an orange. I actually put lemon in my tea, so that's appropriate as well. So you're rolling that right shoulder back. And then maybe reverse directions, go forward. These circles can be as big or as small as you want. You're just getting into the shoulder joint and getting that moving that synovial fluid that encases the joint, which allows for more easy movement. You're moving lymph through this joint at this time. You're moving blood, toxins that have been stored there. If you sleep like this all night, this is a really nice thing to do with your shoulder first thing in the morning, yeah? Just a nice gentle movement. And go ahead and bring that back to stillness. Let's get into the left shoulder now. Backwards or forwards, whichever one you want. You have those.
I'm trying to figure out where to put it.
Once again, they can be as small of a motion or as big of a motion as you want. Pausing and then going the other way, bringing it forward or backwards, whichever way you started. Just do the opposite, please. And go ahead and come back to stillness. Now we're going to do both at the same time. So both shoulders forward. And once again, it can be really, really slow movements, or they can be a little bit faster. But whatever you need right now to be able to really get into the tops of your shoulders, breathing in as you go forward. Exhale on the downswing. Really getting into that shoulder joint. Hi, Allie. Hi, Amanda. And then go backwards with both shoulders, please. And once again, going as slow as you want, maybe pausing with them really far down your back, really broadening across the chest. And then inhale, coming back up. Exhale, down. All right. So you guys should still be standing. I know that I wasn't, just so that I could kind of welcome people to class. Hello, guys. Welcome. This is going to be 9 a.m. flow. And we're just doing a couple of warm-ups here. We just did a little bit of spine. We just got into the shoulders a little bit. All right, so let's get into some real movement here, yeah? So you're going to inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. This really livens up the back of your legs. First thing in the morning. It's very, very intense. So from here, we're going to come up into a halfway lift. So you inhale up for a halfway lift. Hands can fly back or they can be rested, your fingertips right on the thighs. And when you exhale, that's when you release and forward fold again. One more time. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Really get tall, nice flat back. Exhale, release. Let's plant your hands and step right back to a down dog. So this may be your first one of the day or not. But whichever one it is, you're coming right into that down dog. You can stay here in stillness and silence, or you can kind of pedal out your feet, maybe sigh out the mouth, nod the head yes and no. Really push through those armpits to lift those hips higher. If you've chosen movement in this first down dog, please come back to stillness. Inhale, lift both tippy toes up, lifting the heels up high, and then exhale, lower the heels back down to the mat. So from your down dog here. On an inhale, lift the right leg to hip height, bend at the hip, and open the hips. Really stay flexed, like you can put a footprint against that wall. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale the left leg up, bend at the knee, open the hips. Breathing. Inhale, re-straighten, and exhale, lower back down. On an inhale, glide forward to upper push-up position. You can lower the back knees down if you'd like to, of course. And from that plank position, then you're going to lower down all of the way to the mat in one piece. Yeah, so you're bending the shoulders into the side bodies and lowering all of the way down. You're going to inhale up for a little baby cobra. And then exhale to release. Tuck the toes, come up through hands and knees or through plank and send the hips right back into down dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, lower them back down. On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. You're at the top of your mat in your forward fold, yeah? Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up overhead. Grab the left wrist with the right hand. And exhale over to the right. Inhale back up, switch the grip. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back up. Swan dive on forward over those front two legs, coming back into your forward fold. I'm going to try to get a little less of the ceiling in here. There we go. That looks better, huh? All right. So you're in your forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale up that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Your wrists are stacked under your shoulders. And on your exhale, you're going to bend the elbows in towards the side body, lowering all of the way down. Inhale up for that little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes. Come up through hands and knees. And then lift the hips, coming right back into your down dog. Awesome. We'll do a couple more of those. Those are called sun A's. So we're going to do 2 more of those to build some heat. And then we'll get into a little bit of variety, yeah? On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, glide forward to upper push-up position. 1 deep inhale, activate through the core here. Exhale, send the hips back. On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep those arms up. Bring the hands down through heart center. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up for that halfway lift. And exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it on back to upper push-up position. Hold this. Build some heat. If you want to do push-ups at this time, you can absolutely do that. If you need to lower the back knees down, you can absolutely do that too. But wherever you are, you're sending that heart forward, drawing the belly button right up into the spine, engaging that core. And on your next exhale, you can bend the elbows, lower all of the way down in one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive to the mat. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. It's very small. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push up through plank or hands and knees, and then send the hips back to down dog again. One more time. Inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up. Sit the hips right back to chair, as if you're sitting in a nice invisible chair here. We'll build some more heat here, yeah? Your arms can be up, framing the head. They can be down at goalie pose. They can come out in front of you for a counterbalance at heart center. You can reach behind and get into your chest and get a bind. If you choose the bind, please make sure that your palms are touching. If you have to bend your elbows to make those palms touch, that's absolutely fine, okay? So in your invisible chair here, really engaging the core to protect the low back. Stay nice and light through those toes. Sit a little bit deeper into that chair. 1 more inhale through the core. Exhale, straighten the legs, forward fold. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Begin to hold and breathe here, yeah? Really firing up through that core. Keep the hips nice and lifted. You don't want to have any sagging hips. That's definitely not proper. Engaging that core will help you to lift those hips. This protects your low back. On your next exhale, bend the elbows into the side bodies, lower down to the mat in one piece. Inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Press up through hands and knees. Bring the knees nice and wide on your mat, big toes to touch. Send the hips back. You're coming into child's pose. So forehead comes to the mat. Your arms are out in front of you. This is a wonderful resting pose that you can come to at any point in time. All right, so in this nice child's pose, this relaxed pose, you're surrendering your forehead to the mat. Arms are out long in front of you. We'll come into, hi Marilyn, how you doing? We'll come into some thread the needles. So inhale, lift that right arm up to the ceiling, thread the right arm underneath the left armpit, bring the right cheek to the mat. You're coming into thread the needle here with the right. So it's right underneath and you're kind of turning away. Really getting into armpits which there actually are a lot of muscles in the armpit. Your pec minor specifically, and if the pec minor is tight, it can actually impinge your breath. So it's a really great thing to stretch first thing in the morning, especially. Also, with our arms forward, we're getting into the lat attachment, which is right at the head of the shoulder, right in the front there. You're getting into your deltoids, your pec major, of course. Getting into some rotator cuff muscles in the back of the wing there. So you're in this nice thread the needle child's pose. So you can lift the hips if you'd like more weight, or you can push the left hand right into the right hand and push that into the earth. One more deep inhale together and a long exhale out. Take the right arm out long in front up at the top of the mat with the left. Inhale, lift the left hand up to the ceiling, thread it underneath the right armpit, taking the left cheek to the mat. And now you're in thread the needle on the left. Once again, lifting the hips or taking the right hand, pressing the left into the mat. So it kind of looks like this. You can take your hand, press it right in, lift the hips, whatever's clever. The more you push that left hand into the ground and away from you, the more you might feel it in the top of your shoulder, which is where the trapezius is. Traps are super strong, superficial back muscle. One more deep inhale here and a long exhale out. Bring both hands back out long in front of you. Surrender the forehead to the mat. On an inhale, begin to walk the fingertips back in towards your pelvis, coming up to a kind of seated position. Reach your hands out in front of you. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, send them on back, coming back into down dog. On an inhale, lift your right leg to hip height. Look in between your hands, and on the exhale, bring the knee to that outside right elbow, holding it there. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, bring it forward, hold. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, bring it forward, hold. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring it across the body to the left elbow. Inhale, send the right leg back. Exhale, one more time across the body to the left elbow. Keep it hovering. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, bring that foot right on through in between the hands. You're up on the back heel, or the back toes rather. The back heel's up, stacked over the toes. And when you have that base, you can inhale to rise on up. You can always lower the back knee down. That's always an option as well. Inhale, lift those arms up to frame the head. Exhale, relax the shoulders away from the ears. It can be dramatic. You can bring the elbows down, or you can just think about relaxing the shoulders away. Sending nice energy through those fingertips. You're now in a nice crescent lunge here, or modified if you have the knee down, whichever is absolutely fine. Pull the front hip back, making sure that that front knee that is at a nice 90-degree angle with the knee stacked directly over the front ankle. Inhale, look up, get really tall. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes. If the back knee is down, lift up. You're back in this nice low lunge position. You're going to hike the left foot halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid. Pull the front right hip back again, squaring the hips. Awesome. All right, bring that left foot all the way up to the top of your mat to meet the right. So you're back in that forward fold to the top of your mat. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up, sit the hips right back to chair. Taking any arm variation you want. I'm just choosing to have my hands at heart center. If you'd like more here, you can definitely come up to the tippy toes, lifting those heels. Really engaging through the core, staying nice and strong. On every inhale, you breathe into that core and make that stronger. You get a little taller maybe. And then exhale, softening the shoulder space, relaxing them away from the ears. Another deep inhale through that core. Get a little taller through the crown of the head. And from this chair, sit a little deeper. And then exhale, straighten the legs forward, fold over. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. And begin to breathe. So this plank lowering down to cobra, going back to down dog is called a vinyasa flow. So as you flow through, you have different options. You can always lower the knees down if you need to, untucking the toes. Because then you're going to exhale, bend the elbows into the side bodies, lowering down. Once you're down, your toes are untucked, you've reached the mat, you inhale up for a little baby cobra. Exhale to release. Then you tuck those toes and you push up through hands and knees or back through plank. Then send the hips back, coming back into your down dog. Okay? So that's that vinyasa flow. That's what we do every time to rinse things off. So now we're going to do that little bit of crescent lunge on the left. Yeah? So you're in your down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg to hip height. Look in between the hands. And on an exhale, bring the left knee to the left elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, bring it forward, left elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, bring it across the body, hovering toward the right elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, across the body, right elbow, left knee. Inhale, send it back. And then go ahead and exhale, bring that foot right up in between the hands, planting it in between them, lowering the back knee down if you choose to. And once you have that base where your feet are in two separate lanes, you're going to inhale, rise up. Exhale, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Checking in with that front knee, making sure it's stacked right over that ankle. Pulling the left hip back, squaring the hips to the front of the mat, engaging through the core to get nice and tall. Inhale, look up, reach up, and then exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Frame that front foot. If the back knee is down, tuck those toes, lift that back knee up. And then inhale, bring the right foot about halfway up the mat, coming into pyramid on the left. Pull that left hip back. Breathing here. If you want to make this more of a balance, you take both hands to the front ankle. Breathing into these hips, into the back of the legs. One more deep inhale and a long exhale out here. Step the right foot all the way up to meet the left. So now you're back in that forward fold, yeah? Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep those arms up, and you know it. Sit the hips right back to chair. Your quads will be cursing me. Really engage through that core. Coming up to the tiptoes if you want. Sitting the hips even lower into that chair. Ooh, hello, thighs. One more deep inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Pour it out. Beautiful. Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Bring the hands right down to heart center. All right. So we're gonna get into some balance really quick so you can take a drink of water. Shake your legs out. Hey, what time is it? I didn't get a time check. That's okay. Let me see here. Nice. 9:24. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, let's get into some balance. So from standing, you're going to pour your weight all into your left leg. So come up to the toes of the right foot. Bring the hands to the hips. On an inhale, lift the right knee, staying nice and flexed through that ankle. Open at the hip. So just kind of shifting my position so you can see me a little better. So you're opening at the hip there, pointing the right knee right out to the right, staying nice and flexed through that foot. Ooh. And we're going to start by going ahead and planting this to make a tree. So you can plant it below on your shin, or you can take your hand and guide that to your inner thigh. Just make sure that that right foot is not anywhere near your knee joint, okay? Really protecting that knee here. Woo. All right. So hands can be at heart center. They can come to your heart, or you can grow your tree as you like. I'm going to mix my tree with cactus arms because I just think that would be a cool mixture. So if you feel like your knee is kind of drawing forward toward the midline, toward the line that divides you into left and right, really make sure that you're opening that hip, sending that right knee out. You can hold the hips. That kind of helps me a little bit. Really engage through that core. Stay nice and strong here. That might help you to find a little bit of balance. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. So from this, you're going to release that foot, keep it lifted, send it right back. So you're going to hinge at the hips, bring the heart forward, send the right foot back. You're coming into a warrior 3 here. Your arms can fly back. They can come forward or they can be at heart center. Stay nice and flex through that back right foot. Really breathe here. Lift the heart. Don't kind of sink about it. Keep the heart lifted. Now I want you to lower the left fingertips to the mat. Open up the hips. You're coming into half moon here. Of course, you can have a block underneath those left fingertips if that's too much. And from here, you're going to lower the fingertips down. Come right into standing splits. So you're going to close the hips to the mat because in a half moon, your hips are open. And then you're going to close them, which means that the right toes and right knee are now pointing toward the ground for that internal rotation. Your fingertips are on the ground. Fingertips can come to the left ankle if you'd like for more balance. And then slowly with control on the exhale, lower the right foot down to meet the left. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep those arms up. Bring the hands down to heart center. Holy Jesus, that was a lot. Shake your left leg, shake your right leg. Just shake those all out. Before we get into that other side, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, bow forward over those legs. Heel toe the feet out past hip distance. Grab opposite elbows and sway in ragdoll. Just really feeling the backs of the legs. From this, yes, we are going to do a little bit of that hip motion that I just did. So you can lower the fingertips to the earth. On an exhale, bend the knees very generously, lowering the hips all the way down. Bring the hands to heart center, coming into a malasana squat here for just a moment. Then you release the fingertips. Inhale, lift all the way up, straightening the legs. Exhale, bend the knees generously, lowering all of the way down. Come into a nice little flow here of your own, linking that breath to movement. Inhaling to lift. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lift. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, lift. Pause here. Heel toe the feet back in underneath the hip points. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Bring the hands down to heart center. Awesome. Let's get into that. Only the right foot is going to be our balance leg this time, yeah? So, to come into this, pour all of the weight into the right foot. Come up to the toes of the left. Your hands can come to your hips if that's comfortable. And feel stable. That's really what you want here, right, for balance? So, on an inhale, lift the left knee. Stay nice and flexed through that left ankle. And then we're going to, once that knee is lifted, open at the hip. Go ahead and grab that ankle, place it on the shin or above the knee, into the thigh, just not directly on the knee, right? This side's always so much more difficult for me. It's always very frustrating, and I always find myself getting very caught up in judging this side because I get very frustrated. It's not nearly as easy, and I can never keep my foot up. It's very frustrating. So, that being said, if you are having difficulty on this side, or if this side's easier for you, just remember to keep it focused on your breath. Don't spiral into the story that your mind is creating about your body and how one side might be better or worse than the other, you know? It's all about staying focused. So, ready? Let's release that foot. Keep the knee lifted. And then from here, we're going to send that foot back, right? So if you have to bring the toes down for a second, obviously if you fall out at any time, just come right back into it with your breath. So you inhale, lift that knee. Exhale, send it back behind you. Hinging at the hips. Rotating the knees and the toes toward the earth, that internal rotation. And so from here, coming into half moon, from this warrior 3, The right fingertips come down toward the earth, and then the left foot opens, the hips open, and you kind of open up to the side for that half moon. Once again, proving how much more difficult this is for me on my right side. All right, close the hips. Bring the left fingertips down with the right, coming into that standing split. So you close those hips from the open, from that open to the closed. Yep. So both hips are pointing toward the earth. Left foot is flexed. And then slowly with control, exhale, lower that foot down. Now you're back in your forward fold, right? Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Plant the hands, step it back to upper push-up position. Hi, Greg. So you're in that upper push-up position, right? Yes, I'm leaving you there on purpose. Go ahead and breathe. Start to build that heat. Your wrists are stacked under your shoulders. Your heels are directly over the toes. Your hips are nice and lifted a little bit. It's not as lifted as down dog, right? This is upper push-up position, plank. You're engaging through your core here. Slowly with control, bend the elbows into the side body, lower all of the way down to one piece. Untuck the toes when you arrive. Inhale up for that little baby cobra. Exhale, release. One more time, inhale up, little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, push up to hands and knees. Take the knees nice and wide on the mat to the outer edges. Big toes to touch. Send the hips back and come down into child's pose and rest for a moment. Because that was quite a bit of balance there, huh? My legs are still burning from it. Resting in child's pose in this nice surrender, foreheads against. You can also put a block under your forehead too, which kind of helps your neck to relax. And every time you inhale, maybe you feel the belly touch the tops of the thighs, maybe you don't. Just kind of giving you different cues to get into different areas and different spaces in your bodies. If you want to fire up the fingertips as if there were tennis balls underneath them, that'll also really activate the shoulder joint as well. All right. On an inhale, start to walk your fingertips back in towards the pelvis, coming up. Bring the knees back in underneath your hip points. You're back in a tabletop position. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, send them on back, coming back into down dog. On an inhale, raise the right leg to hip height. Bend the knee, open the hips up. Look in between the hands, and exhale. Sweep that foot right on through. When you set that base up, inhale to rise, coming up into crescent. So from this crescent with the right foot forward, we're going to come into warrior two, yeah? So you're going to swivel the back heel down, open the hips up, coming into warrior two. Flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, relax here for a moment. Inhale, come back forward. Bring the right elbow to the right knee, coming into side angle pose. You can look up at your left hand. You can bring the left hand out over the ear. If you'd like more of an intensification, you can lift the right arm up too, as if you're holding a beach ball. That gets into all of your obliques, into the side bodies, into the abs. If you want to take the top of your hand and bring that down to the small of your back and then look up to broaden across the heart. That's one of my personal favorites for sure. You can also release the right elbow from the right knee, and you can just extend it down, reaching for it. That actually makes the right side body much more active because you're not relaxing and pouring weight into it. You're staying really active and staying lifted off of that right knee, yeah? Look down at your front right knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, sink deeper into that front knee a little bit. Inhale, flip the front palm. Bring it back. Straighten the front leg. Inhale, come back forward. Push the left hip back out. Reach, 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 and then you hinge at the hip, coming into triangle. Make sure there's a nice little micro bend in that front knee. Here's what I'd like you to do from here. From triangle with the right foot forward. turn the right toes to face the same direction that the back left toes are pointing. So both toes are pointing sideways off the mat. Bring your body down and through center. Now you're in a nice wide-legged forward fold, right? Your hands can walk forward. They can walk backwards. They can come out to grasp either ankle. If you'd like to pop up into a headstand, you absolutely can from here at this time. So from this wide-legged forward fold, we're going to come into that whole flow right into the other side. So you're in this nice wide-legged forward fold, right? So you point the left toes toward the other side of your mat. You walk the hands around, come up to the toes of the back right foot. Now you're back in that low lunge position, right? So from that low lunge position, your feet are in two separate lanes. You're in a nice low lunge. The back heel is lifted. Inhale, come on up. Swivel the back heel down, open up to warrior two. Inhale, flip that front palm. Exhale, bring it on back. Inhale, come forward. Bring the left elbow to the left knee, coming up to side angle here. Bringing the right arm out over the ear, coming up into your oblique intensifier. Or extending the arm down. Looking up if you'd like. You can also close your eyes. That's always a very, very awesome intensification that no one really thinks about. But for me, it is very challenging. Look down at that front knee. Inhale, come back up to warrior two. Flip the front palm. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, relax here. Straighten the left leg. Inhale, come back forward. Reach, 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 reach. Send that right hip back. And then hinge, coming into triangle. Breathing here. You can also do that ab intensifier here too by bringing both arms forward. Or you can stay lifted. Nice micro bend in that front knee so you're not hyperextending. You want a little bit of a bend. Yep. Looking up if you want. Arms out. All right. Turn those left toes back so that both toes are facing the same direction. Walk your body down through the middle. So from here now, we're going to go up into goddess. So you're going to bend your knees very generously, stack the shoulders over the hips, come right up into goddess. Maybe kind of going back and forth, getting into your hip joints here. Hands can be on the knees, at the hips, heart center, or taking those nice cactus arms, yeah? Wherever your hands are, release them and bring them up. Inhale, straighten everything. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, rebend. Inhale, look up, reach up. Bring both toes pointing forward if they aren't already. And then exhale, forward fold, coming back into your wide-legged forward fold. Inhale up for a little halfway lift. Exhale, release. So we're going to come back into right leg coming forward. So I'm going to turn the right toes away. So your right toes are pointing perpendicular away off of the mat. Your heel, if you could draw a line from your heel to your back foot, the heel would have a direct line right to the inner arch of the left foot, right? So you're coming back into this warrior two pose. You're going to rebend into that right front knee. If you need to widen your legs a little bit, you can. Then bring the arms up. Now you're back in warrior two. Ta-da! Inhale, flip that front palm. Exhale, bring it on back. Sweep and cartwheel the arms down to frame the front foot. Come up to the toes of the back foot. And then bring the back foot all the way up to meet the right, so you're back in that forward fold at the top of your mat, yeah? Inhale up for that halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. And then exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, step it on back to upper push-up position. Flow through a vinyasa if you'd like. Going through the exhale, lowering down. And then the inhale, lift up. And the exhale, go back, or just go right back to down dog. You do have options. You don't have to do that every time, but it's a nice way to rinse things off. All right. So we're all meeting back in down dog, right? Now, of course, I wouldn't forget about that three-legged dog on the left. So inhale, lift the left leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open the hips up. On the inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, bring that foot right on through. Lower the shin down to the mat. So you can heel toe the foot out to the outer edge, lower the shin down. We're coming into half pigeon here. And then go ahead and walk the right toes back and away from you. In half pigeon, if this causes you any knee pain, bring the foot in closer to the pelvis, which causes a greater bend in the knee. And then you can lower down to your degree. So you're going to crawl on down, grab a block for your forehead if you have that, or a pillow. Pillow works too. And you just lower right on down. Once again, if this causes you any knee pain, please readjust where the foot is. Bring it closer to the pelvis. And if that really isn't doing it for you at all, and this is just too much on your knee, please come out of it. Listen to your body. Stay present in your breath right now. Send the breath to the outer left hip. If you want to tuck the back right toes, that really intensifies into the front right hip. Breathe. Very purposeful breaths. You can even make the breath audible. Kind of sounds like a Darth Vader kind of deal. Keep breathing. Stay focused. You're lowered down all the way to whatever degree is comfortable within your body. On an inhale, let's start to walk the hands back in toward the pelvis. Maybe a little mini back bend. If you want to bend the right knee and try to grab that bind, you absolutely can. Here, let me scooch forward a little bit for you. And that looks like this. Slowly releasing that bind if you grabbed it. Tuck those back toes, lift the back knee, and then send the left leg back to meet the right. So you're coming back into your down dog here. Lift that left leg, bend at the knee, open the hips. Nice little counter stretch. And inhale, straighten, and then exhale, lower back down. Inhale, lift that right leg to hip height, bend at the knee, open the hips. Look in between the hands, sweep it on through. Bring the shin down to the mat. We're coming into this half pigeon on the right, yeah? So lowering down. Making sure that your hips are nice and square, and then you can lower down to your degree, grabbing a pillow again or a block for your forehead, coming on down. Hanging out with your hips, stretching out piriformis. Hi, Alyssa. And begin to breathe, really staying present with your breath here. Sending the breath all to that outer right hip. We're getting into piriformis here, so if you know anyone with sciatic issues, this is really, really good for releasing that. If this causes you any pain right now or unpleasant sensations in the knee, you bring the foot closer to your pelvis, yeah? So wherever you are, noticing where you're holding tension in your body at this time in this pose, and on every exhale, you bring a little bit of softness to that area. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. On an inhale, start to walk your hands back in toward your pelvis. If you want to grab that bind again, you absolutely can. So you bend that left knee and reach for that. If you grab that bind, you slowly release that. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up, and then send the right leg back. You're coming back into your down dog. Hi, Riley. Lift that right leg, bend at the hip, opening up. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, lower down. On an inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, step walker, jump, feet to hands. Inhale up for a halfway lift. Exhale and release. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep the arms up. Sit the hips right back into chair. One final chair here. Hands can come to heart center. They can come to the hips. They can be up. They can be out. I think the counterbalance is my personal favorite because it really allows me to get deeper into this. If you want to come up to those tippy toes, you absolutely can. Breathing in, getting a little bit lower with every Exhale. You get a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. Yep. This is really intense. Stay with it. All right. Bring the fingertips down behind you. Lower all of the way down. Pigeon pose is my favorite too, Alyssa. Hands down. Okay, we're going to build a little bit of more heat, and then we're going to start to unwind a little. And, of course, who doesn't love a little core work? So we're going to come up into boat. So knees are tented, feet are on the ground. You can kind of roll around on your sit bones. And when you're ready, you're going to begin to lean back and away from your legs. Lift one foot up and then the other. So you're coming right into boat. You can hold under the knees if you want, or your arms can be extended up with them. To really isolate and activate the core so that your core is doing the work instead of your hip flexors, which will always take over the work. That's why you're shaking here probably. I'm definitely shaking. And that's coming from your muscles fighting over who's going to do the job. So to really activate and isolate that abdomen, you open the feet. Make a little V with your feet, yeah? And you breathe. So from here, we're going to incorporate a little bit of movement. So we're going to be lowering down. So you're in this nice boat pose. On an exhale, you lower down. Inhale, come back up. Wow, hello. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come back up. Woo. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come back up. One more time. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Release the feet and the hands. Bring the hands back behind you. Fingertips pointing toward the glutes. Inhale, lift up. Stretch back. Relax the neck back. And exhale, slowly lower the hips down. Coming right back down. Awesome. Okay. Take the legs nice and long on the mat in front of you. We'll come into a couple of seated forward folds here. Stay nice and flex through those front ankles to keep the backs of the legs active and protected. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold over the legs. If you'd like to get into a bit of a side body stretch here, I invite you to take your left hand, reach for the outer pinky side of your right foot. Really pull into that armpit. You can look down toward the outside edge of your left knee. Release that. Go ahead and come into that on the right. Take the right hand, reach for the left foot. Slowly release that. Inhale, come back up, rising, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Take the legs super wide off the edges of your mat. Stay nice and flexed through your feet, nice flexion, as if you can put a footprint on the walls. Inhale, lift the arms up, and then exhale, go ahead, crawl down to your degree. And this can be, like, for this pose for you might look like this. You may not be able to get very far because your inner thighs are lighting right up. And if that's the case, please don't round and kind of slack into this. Stay nice and tall. Engage through the core and breathe. Keep those feet flexed to protect the back of your knees. Really send the breath right to those inner thighs. Because for some people, this is enough. And if you're feeling that sensation of that inner thighs, that's all you have to do. You don't have to push yourself to get down. Some people, I'm just really flexible. I've been doing yoga since I was 10 years old. So if it doesn't look like this, just please don't judge yourself. Don't get caught up in the chatter of it. Just breathe into the bodily sensations that you're feeling right now from this pose. Stay centered, stay present in the moment. Slowly start to walk your hands back in on an inhale, rising back up, stacking the shoulders over the hips. Take the hands to the outside edges of your legs, close them like a book, give them a little pitter-patter, a little back and forth, another little pitter-patter. Awesome. Okay, so one final little core bit here with your legs extended. Inhale the arms up, parallel, tuck the tailbone, and begin to lower down. It's very slow. It's basically with every exhale, you get a little bit lower, right? So you inhale through the core, exhale, lower down a little bit more. Stay nice and flexed through those feet. Inhale, and then you exhale a little bit more. Inhale, I'm starting to shake. I hope you are too. Exhale. And once you get all of the way down, once your shoulders reach the mat, inhale the arms up above your head, full body stretch, point the toes away from you, and then on your exhale, relax, bring everything down. Relax the arms down along your sides and take a moment, maybe grab some water. That's what I'm gonna do. Beautiful. So on an inhale, bring both knees into your chest. Grab them, give them a hug. Maybe bring your forehead up to meet them, roll into a little ball. Roll back and forth, side to side. Beautiful. Lower the feet to the mat and come into a half bridge and then a full wheel, okay? So for that half bridge, your arms are down along your sides. The knees are up and tented, feet are on the ground. And then from there, you're going to inhale, lift the hips up. If you'd like to roll your arms underneath and grab them for a little bind, you absolutely can. Squeeze those knees together as if there were a block between them. Lift on an inhale through the quads and the abdomen. Exhale, relax the glutes. The glutes are always super engaged and tense and clenched. So on every exhale, you got to relax those and let them go. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, relaxing, okay? To come out of this, come up to the tippy toes of both feet. Sweep the arms up. And then exhale, roll down and lower down through each vertebrae. If you'd like to do that again, if that was comfortable for you, relatively so, then please do that again. If you want to come into the full expression of wheel, you bring your hands up by your ears with the eyes of your wrists pointing away from your head. And then you lift up. Toes can be lifted, feet can be planted. To come up out of this, it's exactly the same. So you lift up into both tippy toes and then lower down, bringing the back of your neck down first and then rolling down. Beautiful, yeah? All right. So your feet are on the floor. Let's inhale, bring those knees back into your chest here. Take your arms off of the mat in a capital T and then lower the knees down to the right. So you can look out over your left arm if that's comfortable for your neck. Inhale the knees back up through center. Exhale, lower them down to the left this time, looking out over your right arm if that's comfortable. If you'd like to take your left hand to the outer right knee and pull on that a little bit, you can, giving a little bit more sensation to the outer right hip. Inhale, bring those knees back up through center. Extend both legs toward the ceiling. Nice flexion. You can reach behind and hold the knees behind. Just letting all of that energy drain right back down. You can practice pointing the feet and then flexing them, maybe making little circles. Pointing, flexing. Bend those knees, bring the knees back into the chest. Reach down in between your legs. Grab the grab the outer edges of your feet, excuse me. And then stay flex. Nice happy baby. You can roll around from side to side here. Maybe straighten the legs if you'd want. And then rebend. Rolling back and forth or choosing to be still. If you need anything else at this time, you can release those feet. Bring the feet down to the mat. If you need anything else at this time, now is definitely the time to do anything else to complete your practice. And when you've had enough and you're ready to come into stillness, please extend your legs forward toward the edge of your mat. Your arms are down along your sides. Your feet naturally just splay open. They're relaxed. Coming into this Shavasana, not controlling the breath, just allowing it to flow freely through the nose, in and out. Taking these last couple minutes in silence to just kind of let your body absorb all of the work that you just did. Check in with the jaw. Bring the tip of the tongue away from the roof of the mouth or the back of the teeth. On your next exhale, relax the space between your eyes. And enjoy your Shavasana. I will bring you out of this period of silence in a couple moments with my voice. So just continue to breathe. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing movement back into your limbs and bringing your attention back to the rooms. If your eyes are closed, allow them to open. Together, take a breath in and a long sigh out the mouth. Slowly go ahead and roll over to your right side. Hang out there for a moment. When you're ready, using your hands and arms, push yourself up to a seated position to face your lovely devices so that we can have just a moment. I just want to thank you all so much for tuning in and for supporting this community that Balance Webster is bringing forth to everyone in this very, very stressful, dark time. I'm really honored to be able to help and to bring this light into your homes. I hope that this is something that maybe if you've never done before, that this is a way for you to kind of get into it a little bit more. You got to stay active. You got to stay moving. Keep your body busy. Don't allow your mind to completely control you with all of the stress that's the ever constant whirlwind and the chatter back and forth. Use your body. Stay active, everyone. Stay safe. There's a lot of other movement going on today. Hannah Farley is doing a dance class called Groove at 11, which I'm going to tune into. I'm very interested to see what that's all about. And then I believe at 1 p.m., Stephanie Lay is doing her Pilates yoga combined course called Fusion, which is a really awesome core workout, and I will definitely be tuning in for that as well. So lots of movement today. Very exciting stuff. Stay tuned. You can visit balancewebster.com. To look at our YouTube channel, as well as you can also get more information about the different classes that we're offering that are all being streamed live on Facebook, and then they're being moved to that YouTube channel. So you have much access to go back and redo these whenever you want to, which is really, really an awesome tool. So much love and light, you guys. Please bring your hands to your heart center, resting those thumbs right against that heart space. Bow your head to your heart, lift your heart to your head, bringing the two closer together. The light and the truth in me sees that and honors it in each of you. Namaste, everybody.